Hello there guys, more from Reviewer 97 here, and I'm back with another review. Now this time I'm going to be doing my first ever Power Rangers figure review, so I hope you guys enjoy it, and it's going to be on the Power Rangers Zeo 5-inch action figures. So the thing with these ones is these ones actually have some action features. They did release two other type of Zeo figures, the flip heads and also the 8-inch action figures. But these are the 5-inch action ones with like action features. So I'll get into that into the video. But first off, I just want to say that I am missing quite a few pieces with this because I did get them second hand, and some of the Rangers are really hard to actually stand up. Especially Red, it took me about half an hour to stand him up, would you believe? So let's get straight into this review. Basically, I'm just going to start off in order, so I'm going to go from Zeo Ranger 6 to Zeo Ranger 1, and just basically go in that order really. So I'm going to show you the detail of the figure, then I'm going to show you the features it has, and I'm also going to show you the articulation the figure has as well. So let's get straight into this. So here we have the first figure, Zeo Ranger 6, Gold. So this was Jason, or Trey of Triforia. Now the thing I'm missing with him is Gold Zeo Power Staff. So that's what I'm missing with this figure. But as you can see, the figure itself has pretty nice detail on it. It's got some nice gold, some black and some white. But inside the gold you've got some quite nice sculpting design detail. So that's always good to see in figures. The only thing about this figure is it's got the big giant triangle part at the back for the action feature, so it would have been better if they hid that in a different way. But the helmet itself isn't too bad. Now of course these figures came out in 96, so there's going to be some paint chips and stuff on the figures. But the helmet sculpt itself isn't too bad. Now the way you tell which each Ranger number is by the actual helmets. So this one's got 6 different points, or 6 different sides. Zeo Ranger 5 has 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So just like that. Now the articulation on this figure, the sad part about these figures is they don't have much articulation. But I'll just show you now. The head, it can't really move. You can't really move the arms too much, probably about that much because of the shield just blocking that. So that's really all the arms can do. The arms don't twist anywhere else. Now you can move the legs back and forth a little bit, and they can do the splits, which isn't too bad. Got some knee articulation so they can bend at the knee, but nothing really else with the foot or anything. So that's all the articulation this figure has. Not much, but it makes up for the action feature. So I'll just show you that right now. How you activate that is you go to the back here, and you just move it side to side. And this is the action feature you get. So he would be holding his golden power staff, and basically what would happen is his arms would move and he would spin that round. So that was his action feature. Now I'll just show you pictures side by side for the comparison, what he looked like on the show to the figure. So there's that. So that was Zeo Ranger 6. See if I can stand him up. If I can't stand these figures up, I'll just lie him down. Right, I think I'm just going to lie this figure down, so I'll just keep him there. Next is Zeo Ranger 5. Now the joints are quite loose on here, so it did take me quite a while to put this one up, but he looks quite nice. You know, he's got some bright red colours. He's got some white and some gold, just like on the Jason figure. But this was actually Tommy. Now, if we go into the head sculpt here, got a nice detail on the star with that white line around the outside. And I don't know if you can see on camera, but if you look closely at the helmet, you can actually see lips on the Rangers' helmets, just like they had in the show. But it's got, again, some sculpt design on here and on the belt, which is quite nice. Now this figure would have come with the normal blaster, the normal sword, and it would have also come with his power sword. So he would have put the power sword in his hand, and I'll show you the action feature for this figure in a minute. But the articulation is kind of about the same. You can move the arms a bit more round because he doesn't have a shield on, so you can move the arms an entire 360. They don't really bend. Again, the legs can move back and forth a little bit. You can do the splits. and also you got a bit of knee articulation. So that's really it on this figure. Again, not much articulation, which is kind of sad, but makes up for the action feature. So as you can see, it would have been nice if they would have hidden the actual back parts for the action figures a bit more. But let's see his action feature. So if I would have put the sword up, he would have swung the sword like so in his hand. So that was that Ranger. I'll just do a comparison of him as well. So there's what he looked like in the show compared to the figure. There we go. I'll lie this one down as well. Moving on to Zeo Ranger 4 green. Got a nice green on this figure. Now I do have actually the two main weapons for this figure. If I just take them out the holsters. Put the Green Ranger down for a minute. These are the weapons. So they would have had a little sword and the blaster, same as all these other figures. Now the Red Ranger would have had his power sword. The Green Ranger would have actually had the power hatchets, I think they were called, the power hatchets. So he would have had them and he would have put them in his hands, but there's the weapons. So of course the power hatchets would have been in his hands, and I'll show you the action feature again in a minute. But again, it's the same thing on the back for the action feature. But you've got a nice green on this figure, white again, some gold paint. Design wise it's kind of the same on this little shield part here and on the belt buckle. Pretty cool. Now the helmet, I'll just show you that. This is how you can tell it's Zeo Ranger 4 because it has 4 points on the rectangle. So quite nice. Now articulation on this figure, pretty much the exact same as Red Ranger. So 360 in the arms. You know, can't really bend the arms. You can do the splits with the Rangers. You can move the leg back and forth a little bit and bend at the knee. So that's really all the other figures can do as well, so I won't really show the articulation in the other figures, but it's pretty much the same for blue, yellow and pink, same as green and red. So not much articulation in these figures, but I'll just show you the action feature. So he would have had the hatchets in his hands and he would have used both the hatchets like that. So that was kind of cool. Lay him down. Moving on now to Zeo Ranger 3 blue. Got quite nice blue on this figure, quite nice dark blue. Again, sculpting design, so that's nice on these figures that you've actually got some good design. I'll just show you a comparison of the Green Ranger to what he looked like in the show real quick. So that's what he looked like in the show, just so I didn't miss that. Back to blue. But yeah, again I've got his two little weapons on the sides, and you've got the holsters just to hold them, which is quite nice. Now his actual power weapons would have been the power axes, so that would have been pretty cool if I had all them, but sadly I don't because I got these figures second hand. But again, the figure doesn't look too bad in detail. There's a comparison to what he looked like in the show. Pretty good. I'll show you the articulation, may as well quickly again. Again, 360 in the arms. You know, you can do a little bit of movement with the arms there. Again, you can move his legs back and forth. You can do the splits. And you can also bend at the knee. So, there we go, there's that figure. Pretty decent. Now I'll just show you his action figure. Or his action features, I should say. If I just turn it. It looks as if he's running. But basically he would have had the power axes in both hands and he would have done that. So, pretty decent, pretty cool. Moving on to Zeo Ranger 2 yellow. Pretty awesome. She's got two lines on her helmet, so that's how you would have told she was Zeo Ranger 2. But quite a nice bright yellow. The only thing with the older figures is the girl rangers, the female rangers, had the body sculpt of the guys. So that was the only thing that was bad about these figures. So the yellow and pink don't look too much like their, you know, show variant. But they did fix this in Super Mega Force with the Super Mega Force figures. We got better with the female figures after Super Mega Force. So, yeah, pretty cool figure overall though. You know, you got the nice bright yellow sculpting design again. They've got the holsters for the weapons. Now, her actual weapon would have actually been the power clubs, and she would have held them in each hand. They were kind of like nunchucks. So basically they would be put in each hand, and I'll just show you the action feature. You press the white button at the back, and that was her action feature. So she would have swung the nunchucks around, or the clubs around. Articulation on this figure pretty much the same. You can hear the clicking because of the action feature. So the arms can move 360. They can't bend. You got the splits on the figures as well. The legs can move back and forth a little bit, and they can bend at the knee. So yeah, there was that figure. Pretty awesome. Just so you a comparison. So there we go. Now we're going to move on to the last figure now, Zeo Ranger 1 Pink. And this was actually Cat. I forgot to mention the names of the other Rangers. So this was Cat, the Yellow Ranger was Tonya, Blue Ranger was Rocky, Green Ranger was Adam, Red Ranger was Tommy, and Gold Ranger was Jason, or Trey of Triforia. So I just thought I'd go through them quickly so I didn't miss them. But here's Pink. Now Pink does have quite a nice colour to her. The helmet isn't too bad. Pretty good detail on the actual gold parts, which I like on these figures. Got quite nice detail on the gold parts, so that makes up for the articulation and stuff. But again, it's just really gold, white paint, and then basically the colour of the Ranger. So her articulation, I'll just go through it right now. Can move this arm an entire 360, but this arm doesn't move at all, so she's a little bit different on articulation. You can't move this arm because of the actual action feature, but that arm moves an entire 360. Again, they can do the splits. Can move her leg back and forth a little bit, and she can bend at the knee as well. So that's really her articulation. Now she would have come with her actual power shield, or as in the show it was probably called the power disc. And with this action feature you would slide this white part backwards just to the side like that, and she would have her shield. It would just lock in place here, and then this, as you pulled the back part, would swing out and the shield would pull out this way. So pretty cool. So it's cool to see the action features on these actual figures make up for some of the articulation being a bit affected. But you know, not too bad figures overall, considering they came out in '95 and it was only the 4th season of Power Rangers. So they were kind of getting used to making the figures. But they've definitely improved now, which is good. The back's even quite nicely detailed on each figure, except for all the screw holes. But yeah, overall, pretty decent. So I'll just do a comparison of her next to her Ranger. Now I might have missed yellow, so if I have, I'll just do a comparison really quickly to what she looked like in the show. But if not, I won't put a picture next to it. So there you go. So that's really been all the figures, guys. I'll just show you these two weapons quickly again. So they're the main weapons the Rangers had, and then of course they would have their individual power weapons. But sadly I don't have everything. Again, these figures are pretty old. They're over 20 years old, and I got them second hand. So other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this first ever figure review that I've done. It's my first one, so I might have not been too great at it, but just let me know what you think, guys, in my first figure review. Now, if you're a collector who likes collecting the Power Rangers stuff and Power Rangers figures like me, these figures might not be the best option, as they don't really have much articulation in the actual figures. Now, me being a collector, I don't mind. I just collect them for the nostalgia. But if you're one of the collectors who like collecting figures with a lot of articulation and things like that, you're probably better off going with the new Legacy Zeo Rangers that they've released, because they've probably got slightly better detail and definitely more action features, and of course articulation. So yeah, that's really all I can say for this, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe as always. This is More from Reviewer 97 signing out, and I will see you guys in my next video.